Hello and welcome back to Fan Geektastic. Now, recently I've been asked by several people on YouTube and on Facebook to show a more detailed version of for whenever I press one of the prism or foil covers. So while I was going through one of my dollar bins, I came across this Jim Lee Wildcats, and I decided it needed a little bit of help. It's got a little ding over here, right here, right next to the October. And on the back looks pretty good. So I am going to take out this little ding. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. It's pretty small, but it is just right there next to my thumb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set this up. I'm going to set the temperature on my press, and then I'll rotate over to the press and show you what I do over there. So let's first start off by putting in the backing boards into the center. And this one's fairly easy to figure out the center. It's got the Image Comics redemption form in it. Now I can tell that this comic book has never actually been read through. It has a very stiff spine, and if I try to open it up any further than the maximum that I have already, I'm going to end up breaking the color on the spine, which if you're going to be getting a book graded, you're definitely not going to want to break the color on the spine. A lot of them, whenever they come from the factory, have broken color on the spine, but you get a reduced grade, or you can get a reduced grade. Sometimes they take it into account that it's from rub during shipping. All right, so you want to pack everything as close to the spine as you can. Now, if you're getting a lot of room like this one here, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put acid-free paper in there instead of the boards. And because I want to show you what I do whenever I'm going to do it correctly, because of the space that I'm getting on this, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the acid-free paper. So what you want to do is you want to grab 2 sheets of the acid-free paper. And then you're going to slide those in and to replace the ones that were at the under the cover. And you're going to do the same thing with the back. 2 sheets. And what this does is it gives you about half the thickness of one of the backing boards. It gives you almost as much. It pretty much just gives you the ability to do everything that you would with a backing board. But what it does is it keeps it from wanting to put a line right along here if the backing board doesn't curve, because sometimes the backing board will get a little arc in it whenever you go to press, and if it does that, then you're fine. But if it doesn't, you're going to get a line, and it's going to ruin the value of your book. So now that I have this set up, you can see I'm going all the way to the edge of the spine with the paper. So now I take it over to the machine. All right, I'm over to the machine, and I have a clamshell press that I'm using now. I still have my old swivel but I prefer the clamshell because it gives me better pressing. It doesn't bow back whenever I try and put a little extra pressure on it. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but we're at 168 degrees. And I'm locked into place. Currently, I'm putting probably in the range of about 90 psi on the book, which is the reason why if you put the backing boards in there, you'll end up putting the crease in there because it does take a lot of pressure. Because the covers are more of a cardboard, they're more like a backing board thickness. So if you don't put extra pressure on there, you're going to end up not taking out the ding. You want to use around 90, 100 max, 75 at the lowest for the thicker, the cardstock covers. So we got 10 minutes, and then we'll be back to take a look at it. All right, I'm back. It's been 10 minutes. It's time to switch. Flip her over. And it takes a bit of effort to get this machine open. So sometimes the comics will bounce, and I gotta adjust them. All right. Go ahead and close that back. And then in 10 minutes, I got to turn her off. And about 6 hours it takes to get down to room temperature, which is currently in this house is around 74 degrees. So once it reaches that temperature, then I'll be able to take it out and show you if I accomplished my mission or not. Alright, we are finished with the second round of pressing and the cool down time. So let's take a look at what we ended up getting. Now we didn't have any issues with the back. There is no crease or anything. Let's see. Looks like it's still there. It is flatter. Let me put it underneath the magnifying glass and take a look at it. Alright, it does not look like it's color breaking, so I had it in there this way with the spine facing towards me. That puts a little less stress on the spine. But this one appears like it needs to be pressed with the spine facing towards the back of the machine. It needs a little extra oomph on the spine. So we're going to go ahead and throw it in again for just the cover, the front cover, and that should take care of the remaining issues. Alright, it's been more than 6 hours. I actually went to bed and now I'm taking a look at how it turned out. So let's take a look at it and see what we got. Alright, now if you look over here to where it used to be, you can see there's no ripple anymore. So that means we got it all. Now this does not have a single issue with the cover. It's still something that I'm going to end up throwing in the dollar bin because it's not really worth much. I mean, if you get it graded and you get a 9.8, you might be able to make some money off of it. But yeah, as a ungraded copy, it's not worth trying to sell it for more than $1. I mean, there was what, like 3.5 million of these printed. So, and if you see this here, we got a curve going on here. That's how much pressure you have to put on the spine of these books with the card stock covers, because they're that difficult to press. But they do turn out looking lovely whenever you get all the the little blemishes out. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing bagged and probably drop it back into the dollar bin. So thank you for joining me today as I press Wildcats issue number 2. This right here is a tool that I use while I'm doing my pressing. And it is just a thermometer, but it tells me what my temperature is in the house. And I got a bunch of lights on here, so it's going to be warmer. I have 600 watt bulbs going, so it's warmer over here than it is in other parts of the house. But I use this about once every 2 hours to check the temperature of the press to see if it's got back down to room temperature. And whenever I opened that one up, it was at 74 degrees, which is the average temperature of most areas in this house whenever I don't have 600 watts of lights burning into my skull. Now, I did pull out some comic books that were in my personal collection. These Amazing Spider-Man here, they do need to be pressed. And if you would like to see me press these in another video, let me know in the comments. It does have a couple little dings on the spine, but I don't think anything's color breaking. But I haven't taken them out of the bag yet to double check them and see just how much they need a pressing. So if you would like to see that, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you enjoy multiple videos of mine, go ahead and subscribe. For everything you're a fan of, everything you geek out about, this is Fan Geektastic, and we're here for you.